Hello, you're listening to the Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we will be discussing Futurama Season 3, Episode 15, I Dated a Robot, with your host, Tommy Roulette.
Today I went to the Columbus Zoo and I saw two monkeys doing it.
Interesting if true. Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And I'm Rick Horty. Joining us today is our special guest, Kris Kozlak. Thanks for being on the show, Kris. How's it going?
Good.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't save all of your barfing and diarrhea talk for the show, Horty. It was it was a pretty involved, intricate story about your family get-together this weekend.
I'd like to think that what I do on this podcast is mostly barfing and
figurative, but
Yeah.
This was literal.
By the way, you did not answer I did get to ask, did you barf into the shit-filled toilet?
No, it was the other way around. Thank God. It was. Remember when Stan's dad on South Park, that one where he kept, or no, it was Kenny's dad. He kept shitting and puking back and forth. He kept changing.
Did you sit on the puke-filled rim? Though?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So it was like
Oh, that's
puke,
okay.
puke.
Then you can just roll into the
Right.
tub
Just
and
like
then
shower.
Yeah.
So it was
I
frontsy,
totally
backsy.
did that. I didn't go back to sleep.
Okay.
I wiped myself. Whatever.
It was a
But
frontsy,
the
backsy,
best was-
topsy, bottomsy.
Is my brother and his wife were staying with me, and they're like 6 feet away from me in the
Did
bedroom.
you turn the water on, like courtesy? Like, I don't want them to hear
there
this.
was no but I
It's his
asked
house.
them. Everybody went to bed
He
real
makes the
drunk.
rules.
So I asked them the next day, and they were like passed out hard. And I asked them, later that day if they heard me, and they didn't. But it wasn't even the
They were
loud
just
puking.
being polite.
It was the fire hose. 60 seconds of like Dumb and Dumber Jeff
Daniels.
Jeff Daniels diarrhea. That was just like. I'm not going to do the sound effect, but it was like stream sound and farting sound at the same time for like a minute. And
I hope nobody's eating their breakfast like I usually am when we listen to this show.
Did you have like a good grip to really get it out?
I was just gripping on for dear life. I don't know what I was holding on to, but
His last shred of dignity.
I did have moments where I'm like, because I'm dehydrating the shit out of myself, or figuratively like dehydrating myself right now.
No,
like,
it wasn't
what if
figuratively. It was literal. You literally.
Yeah, it was literally, but like I did have a moment of like, all right, it's just a bunch of shit and puke, and I'm like, if I just like die or even just pass out, my brother or worse, my sister-in-law is gonna find me like on the floor.
The pants up first?
I think if I passed out like that, maybe I'd go for that, but I'd probably be thinking like, this is it, this is the end, this is how I always thought I would go.
You would use your last moments to text me to delete your browser history.
You're supposed to know that automatically.
There's a nice
Banjo! I don't know.
Tom, how drunk are you?
I'm not really drunk.
Did you drink at the zoo?
No, I had my pregame.
How many did you have on the way to the zoo and then back from the zoo?
No, zero.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with the zoo. Went to the fun house. I had like some shots.
Should've went to the
1539
Anyways.
West 117th Avenue,
Yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Half off.
Half off happy hour.
Happy
It's
hour.
a pretty great deal. That's a really great Planet Express shirt you have on, Chris.
Oh, thank you very much.
And
Oh, I didn't even notice it until you
$6.
pointed it out.
Something
Damn, I'm
we-
usually more observant than that.
something we try and do in every episode, but really only do sporadically, is ask our guests what their relationship is to the show.
I was actually a delivery boy.
Really?
Yeah.
With Planet Express?
Yeah, I traveled the stars.
And now you work at a bike shop and a taco place.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I worked for a place that sounds like Fed Up,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
and I got fed up.
I used to work for the one that sounded like Upped. Did you drive?
Oh, yeah.
I worked I just loaded and unloaded.
I started as that, and I should have never gone up.
Really?
there-
I've heard some people. My stepdad's been there for like 18 years, and he's an E-Reg driver now. And like he got offered, to be a driver, and but he has a full-time job. That's like his part-time job he does for benefits. But like just the stress of it or whatever, it's so much easier to just be at the hub and just like, do this for 5 hours and leave,
Being on the road with other people is just the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
I gave up my benefits just because I couldn't do it anymore. Space would be so much better.
Maybe.
If you're gonna
you
be
might be dead
stuck
if
with
you were
people-
in space, especially working for Planet Express. The crews seem to be pretty disposable.
I
made
want a job at that place where I just am the guy that like shakes the boxes and tries to guess what they are.
Oh, I was
Is
that
that-
guy.
You don't have
I
to
was
do that.
always
There's
that guy.
there's like
That's
a
everybody
manifest
there.
that tells you.
There's a,
I mean, you know.
you have to. No,
Technology.
every time I mail something, they don't ask exactly what it is.
They know.
One time I illegally mailed.
Why
beer.
do you think they
You're
don't
not
ask?
supposed to mail alcohol.
I always wondered about that, like going up in planes with all the bottles like pop. But I guess
It was
pressurized.
cans. It was a 6-pack or a 12. It was a 12-pack of Black Label when Emmy lived in California, and I stuffed it with like some towels and shit. And then the lady was like, because I'm like on the way there, I'm like I'll just say it's like a printer or whatever. And she's like, "Do you want to put Fragile?" And I like paused. I got all nervous. I'm like, "No, it's an old printer. It's fine or whatever." Like, it was all, but yeah.
Anything liquid, fragile, hazardous, or perishable is like they rattle that off. And I think at least 3 or 4 of those. I mean, it was Black Label, so all 4 of those would probably apply, and you committed a federal offense by lying.
Well, it's just
not
alcohol.
federal.
You're not. Yeah, I don't
With the
know.
post
federal?
office.
Oh, did
It
you
was
go?
the post office,
Oh,
yeah.
One of the companies that you guys were talking about, though, delivered me a baby turtle from Texas
Oh, I
in a
used
envelope in a Tupperware container.
to. There's a place in Lakewood, Scales and Tails, that they have alligators in there, or little crocs like caimans, but they would ship out all the time. I would pick
It's
up-
like overnight, but
yeah, you can ship reptiles.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're fine.
They don't need much.
One of
There
the
was
guys-
also a
want a
note
little
that said, "I
alligator."
assure you, this turtle's not dead. Run it under warm water, and it'll be fine."
Just gotta wake the little guy
And it
up.
lived for like, it could still be alive. I don't know. I
You
gave
just
it away,
flushed
and
it
then
when
it
you
went
got done?
other way.
So were you a fan of the Futurama show going way back, or is that just a coincidence with the Planet Express shirt? Or
Oh no, I was a fan. Bought this with the pure love for it. Like, this is the show I'd put on just all day. Like, nothing else I wanted to watch.
Where
Just put
where
that
were
on.
you in 1999 when it first came out?
I was 9. 9? 99. I was 9.
You were 9.
I was
Right.
you probably weren't even allowed to watch it. Your
Yeah,
parents
I don't
probably
even-
thought it was dirty.
I don't even think they knew
Sometimes
about
it was. Actually, this episode kind of is.
Dirty? Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's get. Yeah, we can
And
probably get to that.
actually, we'll get into it. I got a lot to say about this.
I have one thing. I'll bring it up. Speaking of where were you in the show and everything, when we get to it, there's one gag that that I think the only one that it just really stands out is I was watching this on whatever night it was on with my friend Kevin that I grew up with. So but at this time, this would have been like 2000. Are we still 2001? So I would have been like a freshman or sophomore in college or whatever. In my parents' basement, there was a gag, and I just remember my friend Kevin laughed at it for like way too much. Like laughed at it. He thought it was the funniest thing. It was funny, but we'll wait until we get there.
Jumbotron had some kind of exploding referee animal. Did you see that at the zoo today, Tom?
I did not see any exploding animals.
Did you see any referee animals?
You know what? There was some
Like a panda?
weird.
Or a skunk or something?
Okay.
I think a panda would be, or a penguin. That could kind of
Number one, I saw
zebra.
this one.
Zebra, that's a referee animal.
There's a weird animal. I cannot remember the name of it,
Was
but
it a horse?
it's it very close to a horse.
Was it a
But it was
four-legged mimic?
in the family of a giraffe, Oskai or something like that. It's like starts with an O and ends in a
Was it
Kia.
was it Okja the giant pig?
No.
By the time this comes out,
But they
people
look
know what
like
that
a
is.
combination of a zebra, a horse, and a giraffe. They were very weird looking.
How did it taste?
Um,
On
Tender?
the outside.
tender,
Okay.
a little
That's-
salty.
Tender
I
on
don't
the
think tender
outside?
is a flavor. I think tender is a
Oh yeah,
thick
texture.
texture.
Yeah. They tasted salty, and
Bristly.
there was a little bit of cinnamon.
Oh.
Also, I saw reindeer. Speaking of cinnamon, because reindeers and cinnamon are the same thing. How
Were they
heavy?
mechanical?
How heavy do you think reindeer antlers are? They're huge.
Probably like 80 pounds.
Why do they walk with their heads down? Because their antlers are just.
Because if they lift their heads up, they fly away. Everybody knows that. Jesus.
That's how they take off.
You get mad at me for asking dumb questions.
The opening
We're going
cartoon
to be
was called
managing him this whole
Censored.
episode.
Hey, I get mad at you for other
It was
things.
called Censored?
censored. I don't know anything about it other than it
Was
was
it
called
spelled
censored.
the right way, or is it like some play on words spelling of censored?
No, totally.
The opening cartoon, the one on the big screen.
Yeah.
Was it just? I mean,
What kind of animal was even exploding? I don't even.
I think it was
so
like
short.
a wolf in a referee outfit, but is the actual name of the cartoon censored, or is the name of the cartoon censored so we don't know what it is? Like,
don't know.
Like, was the name of the cartoon like racial slur, woohoo, as so many of these cartoons seem to be? That's what I'm wondering.
Scary Door.
I'm excited.
don't know.
Scary Door 2.
We don't know.
Second Scary Door. I think it's my favorite intro of the 3 Scary Door intros.
I was distracted by your hand motions, Tom. Who was doing the Don Knotts type voice on the Scary Door? Was that Billy West?
Oh, the character.
The character that was just like, you know,
I don't know.
I mean, it was like a mashup of like 5 cliched or classic
kind of Andy
Twilight
Griffith
Zone
style.
things. It was doing like the Don Knotts sort of scary thing, which I appreciated. I think Don Knotts is dead. I'm pretty sure Don Knotts is dead.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
But he just seemed like such a genial fellow, and he's one of those people like Weird Al Yankovic or Pee Wee Herman or the late great Phil Hartman that whenever they're on screen, you're just happy to see them.
They make you smile always. Laugh.
Always.
Who, Don Knotts?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, like when he's a fish cartoon.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. When he's in the Apple Dumpling Gang, when he's
Yep.
on the Andy Griffith Show, which is otherwise unwatchable, Don Knotts tempered all of that.
That's a rough
Do
one.
you like the Scary Door stuff on Futurama, Chris?
Like the parodies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're always hilarious.
This is my favorite
like
one.
I was watching Alfred Hitchcock the other night, just thinking about all that. It falls right in line.
Yes.
All the way?
The old Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, yeah. The intro, when they're doing the little, like, the theme song for the Scary Door, and then the actual one, because I quote that one a lot, and the rest of us will, casino where I win all the time. Well, no, you're on a plane. Well, you can't because you're Hitler. You're wrong, save me.
I guess what it really all comes down to is that everyone in the year 3001 at this point is just jaded with their amazing existence, except for Fry, who saw a big floating ball and was amazed by it. And it turned out to just be like one of those inflatable, dancing socks that you see
Seeing
outside.
colors
No, it was
that
an
you've
axe
never
place. It was a
seen
kid in a
before.
costume, so it would have been more like a sign twirler. or
Yeah,
something.
like
Yeah.
yeah. But colors that you've never seen before. That blows my mind. I want to see a color I've
every
never
time-
seen before.
Remember the
It's
fighting
unimaginable.
shrimp
it
thing?
is unimaginable.
Remember that cartoon about the fighting shrimp thing? You know what I'm talking about? Fighting lobster shrimp guy or whatever. That that really colorful shrimp that like boxes other animals
yes,
or whatever. You know what it's called? Well, anyways,
The edit here.
I don't
Name
know
of
what you're
animal.
talking
there's
about.
there's a that YouTube series where the guy does the Morgan Freeman voice and he it's like he's like a
It's a
French name or
shrimp.
whatever. It's a shrimp, right?
But
he does these okay, Chris. Have
I
you ever
don't
seen
know
those?
what-
All right. Well,
I
you know
don't
the
think this is a
oatmeal.
real
You know the
thing.
oatmeal. You know the oatmeal. The comic, the oatmeal.
I am aware of it as being a
All right,
thing.
Chris, have you ever read that? All right. Anyways, there's this shrimp. He's very colorful. This animal, and one of the facts about him is he can see like 100 colors or 22 colors or something that we can't see. And every time I hear that or read that, I'm like, what if I get to see one that I can't? Like you said, unimaginable. Like
Yeah, you can't even fathom.
Well,
It's
not-
called a
I mean-
mantis shrimp.
mantis shrimp. Yeah, that's
number
it.
one, I think the easiest and fastest way to do such a thing would probably be just to take some kind of psychedelic substance
Oh, eat some acid and
Agreed.
just
or mushrooms or DMT or
DMT.
whatever. And
DMT.
that will we're gonna get into some cognitive philosophy sort of stuff here now. I mean, colors aren't an absolute. Like the colors we see are a result of the perception we have of those colors based on the neuroreceptors in our brain as focused through our eyes and our retinas. So really, you're just seeing different wavelengths of light. So like a chicken sees different colors than we do.
Magic,
Those
got it.
colors are still there, but they're just, it's, our brains are interpreting it that way. So if you can change the way that your brain interprets the incoming information, you could see stuff that is different or not there.
A new test came out or something saying that eating like LSD or whatever actually unlocks different parts of the brain that you don't normally have access to and opens up whole new worlds.
I mean, that kind of...
You know, it also
Not
opens
really
up a whole
worlds.
new world. Riding on a magic carpet with Aladdin.
This is true. I mean, I shy away from that kind of
sorry.
language. But really, if you can fire off neuroreceptors that you don't normally use, I mean, that can do some stuff. But like that whole, like, we only use 10% of our brains, man. Like, that's not really true.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
just-
That's a small percentage for what's actually there.
But if you can fire off a bunch of shit that doesn't happen normally, I mean,
connect some
weird shit's going to happen.
receptors that aren't normally
It's like that Ozzy Osbourne song,
So all of
Greenleaf,
Fly,
Sweetleaf.
Fly High Again.
the stuff that Fry wanted to do that they end up doing it, that's like stuff that's cool.
Well, but
I mean,
because he thought his own era was boring, and the professor was like, when they cracked the human genome and boy bands roamed the earth. Like, it's all about the way you perceive it, just like the colors, man.
I don't think I could blow up a planet. I
Well,
would not want to blow up a planet.
Everything for Fry every day is new.
Was that real, or was
He's
it?
like a
Yeah,
newborn.
that's true. Yeah.
So it's like Groundhog Day every day for him.
Not
Not the
really.
same, but he
No.
just like
It's a new
it's like
discovery
Memento.
every yes. Like he doesn't like, oh, it's normal for everybody else around him, but he's like, oh, that wasn't around back in 2000.
It's like moving to a new country for
Like
us.
the
so-
suicide booth, that's great. Best invention.
Did that's what I was
Yes.
wondering
What
about.
is
The,
that? Chris, let's we need to talk about this now.
I was wondering about that
where you meet
destroying a
Spender.
planet.
First
I know,
time we meet
that's-
Spender.
Was the
Hold on,
planet
it's
like
time
a
to bring Dr.
simulation?
Phil out.
Was the planet destroying just like a simulation? Or was he really just blowing up?
No,
some
they were blowing
planet
up
somewhere?
planets. I mean, there's a whole Futurama movie where they blow up planets to make a mini golf course in like a solar system.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
So,
Yeah, and the
wasteful.
black hole's the ball return.
yeah.
They get to go to the edge of the universe.
And then they say there's only two universes.
The
So there's an infinite amount of nope, just the two.
Just the two.
well, there was a really
Bender
good line
with
from
his
the
hat
professor.
looming over me or whatever.
There's a really good line from the professor where he's like, why would I know what that? Where when they were talking, like I think Leela goes like, what would be a hoot, or maybe it's Fry. Says, it would be a hoot, and the professor's like, why would I know? He's like really just sort of totally taken aback that he'd know about anything fun.
He had another line like that in this too. I thought I wrote it down.
Oh, and then there was like a really quick, like the Fry coming on to Leela thing happened again, just really quickly, where he's like, anything? And she's like, no, not that.
Yep.
And like, is this going to happen in every episode going forward now? Like, is that just going to keep building and building?
Where he just gets shut down and shut down.
Well, it really just seemed to start maybe 1 or 2 episodes ago where like he was just coming on to Leela. Like,
For
It was
those of
the
you at
last-
home,
the
I
last
just
episode
hurt
with
my.
the-
I just pulled the most of my neck, shaking my head as hard as I can. It's the most untrue thing, but
what?
that it just started an episode or two ago.
No, I mean, I
as-
get
as
what he
hardcore
says
as it is now.
Like, it's definitely like they bring it up more and more. Like, they would.
I think it seems hardcore because they just started bringing it up more and more.
Mm-hmm.
But as it progresses, it's just going to blend into the background because it's going to be so normal for him.
Yes,
to
that's
just
very
yeah,
right
that's
now
what
it's
it
just
is.
new.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's going to become a point where it's like that is just a part of every episode. He does or says something, but then other
It's
things.
so- okay,
It
so
becomes
it-
like the C story almost.
It's like
you know?
our daily events in the horrible world we live in, where we're just getting desensitized to the more and more terrible shit that happens, and it becomes normalized.
No.
Yes. I say yes.
You're right. I'm sorry.
That's double plus on good guys. And you mentioned this before, where they're peering across at the parallel universes, and there's like the Westworld versions of them. Did they ever interact with them again?
No, I don't think that ever came back up. Like they never revisited that. I think they've gone since back to the edge of the end of the universe for like a theme park.
And I was going to say that the edge of the universe looked like where Fry went when he joined Al Gore's Special Force with Stephen Hawking and Nichelle Nichols.
When they went into Oblivion or whatever?
When he destroyed the universe.
Well, that's probably like the other side of the universe. Like, you can't cross it because it's the end of the universe. So
But how are those people over there?
Because it's a different universe.
Yeah, but they have telescopes to
they
look
can
at
look
them. Why
across
can't they
it.
cross
Right,
it?
you can look across it, but you can't get over there.
Why can they put like a ladder over it
It's like
and then crawl?
it's the
Like-
Grand
like-
Canyon of space.
So
Imagine
you need a Evil Knievel of space.
Why couldn't you fly a
To jump
spacecraft
across it.
It's the
across it?
Springfield Gorge of space.
yes.
Could Fonzie jump it?
On his
Only
Triumph?
with a
yes.
shark chasing.
Are
it.
there sharks in the gap? I'm getting
There
confused.
could be. There could be,
There might be.
half
Alligators
universe,
with-
half non-universe.
Alligators with helmets on, with space helmets on.
How would they snap it?
I'm
then?
pretty sure they have that in the craters on the moon.
That's
They
the,
do.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Guys, how do you feel about if you could download a celebrity into a robot? Really,
Still-
honestly.
would it still have like the metal underneath all?
Dude,
No,
Dude.
I think it's like a
Would it weigh
what
like
what they do
400
now.
pounds?
It's like the
We're not
the-
even close to that yet. There's so much other stuff from.
I think it
Fry's
creates
thing.
sort of like the way like the holodeck on Star Trek, where it uses photons.
So it's
to
like a
make
3D printer.
It's like the robot is like the skeleton, and then it creates sort of whatever it's going to put on it as like you can touch it. You know.
So like a
Oh.
skinny skeleton.
no.
No. I mean,
but
the
hold
robot
on.
is still inside of it, but on the outside of it's projecting a tangible like form that you can.
So
touch.
does
Hold your thoughts real quick, because we did not get to the one point what Fry wanted to do before he did that, and it has my favorite line in
The dinosaur
Futurama
part?
ever. The dinosaur.
Oh
part.
yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, and the pig vending machine.
Yes, but mommy, what's wrong with that man?
Don't look at him.
Uh,
His tongue
Wait,
tickles.
this starts with him cruising the internet.
Oh yeah,
And
we
then,
skipped
yeah.
that whole thing. No,
Yeah,
is that
like-
or is that after?
no, because Fry has to get new hands.
He gets new hands from handcrafters,
Um,
and then
Why
he,
didn't he go?
So
to,
he has new hands and new hair and a new. No, he has the same.
everything's
nose.
replaceable. But all right. So one of the things I was gonna look up and forgot when I was watching the show is if Napster with 2ps.com is a real website, and I just did look it up on my phone, and it just took me to like an immediate sperm,
No.
a spam site, of,
sperm
yeah,
site?
sperm site, like a sweepstakes and raffle redirect. Like I got redirected to like Lithuania and then Russia and then
You're on a list
Zanzibar or
now.
something. Yeah, like
Now
I-
Putin has
Zanzibar.
your email
I
and
just-
your passwords.
Yep,
You're gonna get shirtless
screwed.
pictures of Putin.
how
on
much
horses.
how much of your browser history is sperm sites, Pete?
delete.
none. Private mode.
Incognito.
Duh.
No, I don't do that. I feel like that they're just begging to figure out what I'm looking at. The robots behind the scenes. Oh, he's going into private mode. What's he looking at?
Let's search the internet.
I wonder if
And then with the hands.
if they went onto the internet in private mode in their like virtual reality thing, would they all be like invisible? Or
I
would they be
think
disguised
I
as
think
someone
this
else?
would be good. Yeah, I
So-
think they
Who
would.
disguises somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is didn't they do that?
They would
Remember
all
chat
have
room?
room.
first.
They'd all have a giant fedora and sunglasses on.
When Bender went in the chat room, he was like, "File, click, new disguise,
Well, yeah,
hot
but
nurse."
that would
Yeah,
be
that was
like
the
that
before,
would be
not
like
this
changing
episode,
a
right?
different profile.
No, that was the Leela Homeworld.
Yeah, so this is the
yeah.
second time.
I'm out
Correct
of
me if I'm
order.
wrong. The second time they've gone into the internet, like gone into it to show us, like, oh, this is how they do the internet. They go into it, right?
Because
yeah,
they
they fly
go right
around.
up to the only thing they do end
Because
up
the other
going
one,
to the
I forget
Napster.
Yeah, this one they just go to Napster. On the way there, they see some stuff. They see the Star
Pentagon
Trek
getting
argument,
hacked.
the Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
Picard,
That's
Pentagon
what-
getting hacked.
That's what like it panned down and it was
eBay.
just like
Was it
and then eBay. Yeah.
was it was that in reference to something?
What
the Pentagon getting
It
hacked?
might have been something really timely back then, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the,
That was-
the
Now
galaxy
now
was
it's
sold
timely
to
again.
an
I mean,
inconceivable
they're not the Pentagon,
horde.
but you know,
Yeah.
as far as political
Yeah,
hacking.
on eBay, and then it was just like in a virtual auction that and then the Milky Way galaxy. How much did he buy it for? Did they say?
Oh, I forget.
But he was an inconceivable horror.
Oh, what did he ask? Oh,
It's like,
do you accept money orders?
Can you take a money order, a cashier's check, or something?
Western Union only.
So this is in 2001. I mean, when did eBay come online?
I don't even know.
I know. I remember the first and
1993?
only time I used it was I was in high school, so 97 or so.
Did she arrive alive, or was you just get a
I
corpse?
ordered, and this is the just hipsteriest, like, oh, really, you fucking high school douchebag. The Tom Waits live, but it's not really live, but the fake live performance video, Big Time, which there was an album for, they kept showing on IFC and Bravo, was not available, was out of print at the time. I think you can get it. Now it's 2007, you can get it anywhere. But at the time, you couldn't. So somebody on eBay was offering
like a VHS
copy of it. So I ordered it. I gave him my $40. It sent a check, there was no PayPal or Venmo or whatever. And never got it. Emailed him back. Hey, oh yeah, sorry, blah, blah, blah. The check was cashed. Emailed again. This, another month goes by. Never got it. And I'm like, I'm never using, I didn't order anything off the internet until like 6 years ago. I was so mad. You know what I mean? Like,
I got burned once on eBay. I mean,
Yeah.
I use it all the time, but
and I know eBay's different than ordering, from Amazon or whatever, where
No,
it's a company. It was like,
You still have to deal with actual people.
Yeah.
I came into possession of a first pressing of Perubu's first single, 7
oh,
that was
so. All right,
hang on,
I just feel like we're evened out on
hang
like
on.
the
no,
bullshit
no,
hipster.
no. Look, that was actually Peter Lackner's. My mother's good friend grew up with him.
Mm-hmm.
When he died, years ago from an overdose or whatever, she gave a bunch of his shit to my mom's friend, and she was cleaning out some stuff while she was moving. She's like, "Here, just give it to me. Like, you'll know what to do with it." I'm like, "Well, I'm not a fan, but this will fetch some money on eBay." So I sold it to some dickhead in France. Boxed it all up nice and good, and he's just like, it never arrived. This is not, he paid like $180 for this fucking record, which is about what it went for. But once it gets out of the U.S. Postal Service, you're fucked.
Yeah, who knows where it goes?
Because there's no tracking on that end.
Uh-huh.
And to get like international tracking for like based on the cost would have been like absurd.
I forget if you said this. About what time period was this?
This was within the last 5 years.
Okay.
Probably maybe even within the last 3 years. I'm sorry it never arrived. I do not. I'll tell you what. You can refund half of my money. Does that sound good? And I'm like, no, because that's still like $90 fucking, you asshole, and it's not my fault. Like, I can prove that I shipped it. And
Can you do the rest of the podcast in that French accent? I love it.
the French voice. No, and so that was that was a deal that we cut on. It was so here's
So he got the album and just bribed you.
my
for half the
thought
money
is he
back.
says he never got it, and then it was just
Probably.
like, I overpaid for this shit. Now I'm gonna fuck the American. And so I was out almost $100 on this thing. I mean, on the one hand, I was up $100.
Yeah, but you're still
But on the
out.
other, I had to pay him back because I'd already spent half of the money that he gave me. And then, not long after, this was a rare pressing. Like, you could tell because like the label was in red or something or whatever on the record. One of those showed up in a different part of France
there
for
you
sale,
go.
like within the
Okay.
next couple of months. It's
Yeah.
like the motherfucker. So the key is, and I mean, I guess. You know what? The only other time I had trouble on eBay was a fucking Frenchman. Because my first wife, her investing scheme was to buy a bunch of Star Wars toys when the prequels were coming out.
Yeah, a lot of people
Like
thought that was a good
original?
idea.
Yeah,
It
she's
was
like,
not-
oh,
it was not a good. It was
not.
like Beanie Babies.
Yeah,
It was
so
not a
she
good
had
idea.
she had like a closet full of fucking Star Wars toys, and we were getting married. He's like, well, we need to pay for the fucking wedding, so we need to sell some of this shit. Like, it's not going to appreciate in value, and it's taking up space. So let's get it out of here while we still can. And like, I sold some weird shit to some guy in Sweden, no problem. Sold something else to some other guy. You know, it went all over. But the one thing that got bought by a guy in France, he took like 3 weeks to not pay. And I'm like, okay, I'm putting this back up. I'm canceling the sale. And he left me negative feedback. And in French, 21. Yeah, like he was all pissed that like I couldn't wait for
Sacre
a
bleu.
month. Yeah, sacre bleu.
Because that Luke Skywalker wasn't eating a piece of cheese when
Yes,
he got it.
he didn't come with a baguette. Whoa,
Baguette.
Rubber. So I think the lesson learned is
Take that,
and look,
frogs. Goodbye, French listeners.
I've had some very nice
Again?
times in France. I've met some wonderful people there. I like the country in
eBay
general.
people are just awful.
Don't
Well,
fucking
yeah,
sell
that's
anything to
what it is.
eBay.
Like half the
eBay
bike
France.
shop is that eBay
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
We stopped like going to Malaysia and Russia. And
Oh,
just-
yeah.
They
Burned
take
in-
weeks to get there. They're like, where is it? We're like, we sent it. Oh, I want my money back. And we're like, no, we sent it.
Yeah.
So, no, it's awful.
There's a list
The
of shitty
warlords
countries.
take it, and they're slowly building bikes with the parts that they're sent.
They're not building bikes. They're building chappies.
Chappies. They have South American accents.
There was another thing that
Like
jogged my
Die
memory.
Alien Ant Farm. Wasn't that in that band? Or
Die
that movie?
Antwoord?
Yeah.
Die Alien
Ant
Ant
Farm.
I mean, everybody was chanting that when they came out too, but
There's a line where they're like, read a blimp sometime. And I had that happen this weekend. I think we were driving somewhere, and there was
What
a
part of that do I understand?
there, like they yelled at Fry.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
about
that's what he said.
yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't write down
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing. There was a plane flying with a banner, and instead of being like a line of text that you can kind of read, it was like a giant flag.
It's a big rectangle. You
Yeah,
said
but
that
I
this
couldn't
weekend?
see
saw
what
that.
it said, and I was trying to figure like, are they advertising like screen doors, or is that like an anti-gay thing? Because it was Pride this weekend,
Yeah.
but then there was like an Indians game. There was an
I was
arts
on my way to the
festival.
Indians game, and I saw that plane with
And
the
what did
big
it
thing.
say?
I was driving.
It was
I don't
probably
know.
like
It said-
flying right over this thing.
Wait, I wasn't
Debro,
driving.
will you marry me?
It was a big yellow flag with a big brown thing on it, like a brown square.
Are you sure that plane wasn't
digital
pooping?
poop.
It might have been pooping.
Pete, I got your money. I am the French guy who got your record, and I bought this, this plane
Don't mess with the
advertisement.
France. Whoa. And it's okay. So they go to Napster.com, and I mean, I
So
guess,
many. Okay.
I guess we can spoil this right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
The double P was such a stupid reveal. Later, like that just annoyed me when they.
Oh
fucking
no, I
really
thought you were
revealed
gonna
that.
say, and it comes up more later, like when they're like, oh, the investor. Are you an investor? Just dump your money, and and it's like, oh, remember right at that time when it's like, here's, this thing that's and Napster.
Before the
There's-
guy from Metallica ruined it.
Yeah, Lars
but,
ruins
but I'm
everything.
sure, if my siblings in their early 20s have probably never heard of Napster. You know what I mean? Like it definitely.
Yeah, but there's
didn't
still
have
a
the staying
Silicon
power.
Valley thing. I mean, that's Silicon Valley's still like that. Just throwing money at not hot dog.
Yeah, I'm just saying that they use Napster, and as far as like dating something, they
Then
dated
it's
that 'cause-
reincarnation of LimeWire.
Yeah,
and
oh yeah, of
everything
course,
after
yeah,
that.
and then all the BitTorrent sites that Tom
Yep.
and I used to. I'm sorry, entertainment industry. We don't
All
do
of our
anymore, but used
intellectual
to steal
property
everything
is
from.
legally purchased.
Pirate Bay.
Oh yeah, that was great.
What was
Just
the one?
Demonoid.
No more single
Demonoid.
songs, just discographies of everybody.
What
I
was the
ever-
one with the little frog on it? Kazu or Kuzu or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Kazai or something.
Because
Pepe?
no,
It was that one where you just download BitTorrents and Mein Kampf.
but Napster. I mean, I used Napster when it first came out.
Oh
I,
yeah, man.
absolutely.
You would download a song at a time and it would take an hour.
Yes.
Over a 56K modem.
And then half the time you would get a shitty version of it, like
And
a
then-
shitty
Or
recording.
it's not even
yeah,
what you
or-
wanted.
or,
something
yeah,
just
just
titled
something-
it
yeah,
differently.
else.
Yeah.
Then your parents, because you guys were still in high school, would get the internet bill from America, and I'd be like, how do we use up all of our minutes
Yeah.
in a week?
Get off the internet. I got to use the phone.
Because your sister was downloading Hanson and Blues Travelers.
Yep.
That's true. Kelly totally was doing
Oh,
telling
absolutely.
that.
Yeah. She's the one that I think showed me how to use it. I'm like, really? You can get songs for free?
Then they like got smart, and then like you had to get smarter by misspelling the names
I
of
remember
the
that.
band
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like find what you wanted.
I'm just as an aside, I still have not received any confirmation of the John Popper butt harmonica hypothesis.
Well, please keep pressing.
I know someone out there needs to confirm or deny that for us.
CNN hasn't been doing much right
It's
now.
all fake news. They've been busy. The celebrities at Kid Napster. I'm sorry, I just ruined it.
you
At
jumped a little
Napster.com.
Napster.com.
From A.A. Milne to ZZ Top.
Yeah, no, that was where I got. Wait,
Why
go.
Lucy Liu?
I don't know.
I feel like out of why Lucy Liu?
She was available.
Any celebrity right now. Let's go around the room and
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
not good on spot.
That's, it's not even that. Like, I don't
Really?
want to. I don't want to name like some celebrity.
Porchy
woman
doesn't like making
that,
out
like,
with people.
okay, I will answer it.
Okay.
Kristen Bell.
Okay, that's well, great choice. And you should have said
Veronica Mars,
you should have asked me to guess. I would have guessed that for Tom. That's
Veronica Mars.
forgetting Sarah Silverman.
Oh, all right.
Forgetting
Yeah.
Sarah Marshall.
Oh shit,
Sarah
Sarah
Silverman. No, I
Forgetting
forgot
Sarah
Sarah
Silverman.
Silverman.
I can't forget her.
How
She'd be
Lies.
probably 5 on my list.
Oh yeah, good.
Elijah Dushku was number 2.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one.
Weird thing, Helen Mirren probably number 4.
Okay, no, I don't think
Not,
that's
not
weird.
weird.
I just want to see what it's like.
It's probably
Dignified.
dignified and
dignified.
elegant.
but surprisingly dirty.
Surprisingly dirty.
She was a Caligula, I think.
Was she?
But
that movie.
I feel like Lucy Liu is probably
well, it's
a
just
giant. She was a good star.
She was a big star at the time, but and yeah,
I mean,
she's
was that
Charlie
Charlie's
Angels?
Angels?
and,
Yeah,
and Ellie
probably.
McBeal. She was one of the main characters in Ellie McBeal, and like she's very pretty or whatever. But I just never. She wasn't somebody that I was like.
It didn't strike me.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
wasn't
mean?
like,
yeah,
sex
she's
symbol Lucy
cute.
And they were-
Liu. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this is gonna sound really bad, but they were fulfilling the
1990.
Diversity quota.
Diversity.
Diversity quota. Yeah, absolutely.
I
They
think
were
that
like,
is
oh,
Well,
all.
well,
at least Lucy Liu wasn't played by
At least
Billy
they were
West.
attractive.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Helen Mirren wasn't Caligula.
Oh.
I don't know. Are we going to continue down that road, or are you
But-
trying to shut it
no,
down?
but real quick, we'll never know who either on the show. In that kind of situation, it's usually one of two things. Somebody on the show was like, Lucy Liu's awesome. Let's that would be my, or as a joke, someone's like, oh, it'd be Lucy Liu, and then they were like, well, let's try, or somebody newer, some producer or some whatever.
Well, wait, was
person
Ally
knew.
McBeal still on the air at this point?
2001, I think so. I don't know for sure. I didn't.
I mean,
look it
she
up,
would have
but,
been
like,
under the Fox
It was
umbrella
around
at
that time.
point.
Oh, and then there you go. Yeah, Fox. So it might have been like a cross promotion sort of thing.
Yeah, it ran from 97 to 2002.
Oh,
so
there you go.
this
So that was in its
there you
prime.
go. Because she was 4th or 5th billed on that show, so they couldn't get Callista Flockhart, and they couldn't get
They couldn't get her for female single female lawyer.
no. But yeah, so
Her forehead cost too much.
Oh.
okay, so they brought up some people like Cleopatra. And who was the
yeah.
other one? He's like, I'd prefer someone from the era of shaved
Jeff Shepard,
underarms.
that was Cleopatra, and then who was the other one? It was, oh damn it! It was somebody from, that time period, and then it was Cleopatra, and then he was like, I'm looking for something more in a Lucy Liu type, but we don't have that, but we do have Lucy Liu, but I can't remember who the first one was. Fuck!
All right, so
These people are yelling at their radio right now, or their phone, or whatever.
here we come with the
What do
criticisms.
people listen to this on a
Why didn't Lucy Liu Robot once she's been downloaded? Okay, let me take a step back. Number one, you see what the robots look like to begin with. They're basically just like
Floppy
Blanks.
disks.
they're like they're mannequins.
Yeah.
Blanks, yeah.
They look like a drawing
Blank robots.
statue. So when she gets
They look like the
downloaded-
when you make when PowerPoint first came out and they had the little guys, and I think
Yeah.
they're still on there. They look like those.
So how did they have like the features and the like when they download the Lucy Liu on top of that, she takes on the form of that. I mean, she's glowing, But when Fry touches her, he's not touching like a blank robot.
I already explained that.
I didn't
Like
catch
they
it.
3D printed the skin.
No, it's the robot itself. Oh, it's either that. Okay, yeah, it's either that where it's 3D printed. But I think the reason it's glowing is that it's the holodeck technology from Star Trek, where it's light photons turned into physical photons projected from the robot, so that when you touch it.
Does that keep him up at night? Like, does that glowing act?
It's
is
got
it
to be a little
stronger
bit
than,
like,
a
yeah, I
night
would
light?
think like,
Does
I
it
mean, it's
matter? Is
glowing.
he just
Like, it
making
rolls
out
over
with her
and-
Or
until
if
he
turn it
passes
down.
if
out?
at least that strong, and that would keep me up, like, you know,
Like, turn it down a little bit. I'm trying to sleep over here.
Okay.
turn into the blank robot. Oh.
So why isn't she as heavy as Bender?
That's what I wanted to know. Like,
Was she not?
Are they 400 pounds? Is her ass nice and shiny?
No,
Well,
actually, Leela said it was tone and come here, I'm going to kick your tone and firm ass or something like that. Or,
Yeah, something. When they were
She said
fighting.
that
I
earlier,
think.
yeah, when they were fighting.
Yeah,
later.
but I mean, robots are theoretically heavier than humans. I mean, there's a point
No,
where
they-
she's
yeah.
carrying him around because she's strong enough
Yeah.
to do that. But I think at other points, like she's sitting on his lap and stuff. So
No, I
how is
missed
she not
that.
just crushing him?
And can all you do is make out with them? Can you do them?
Well, I'm sure they do, but it's a show. It's a TV show on Fox. And
I know.
it's
Yeah, it's a
not-
cartoon. They can do anything.
I think they were trying to like not just make it.
It's a
this-
different. It's a
this
different
robot
kind of
fucking
magical.
episode or
It's
whatever.
a,
You know,
it's a different kind of magical cavity, Tom.
can I read the names of the robots? I mean, not the robots. Oh no, we're not even there yet. Fuck.
No, like, but then Fry's just like gaping at her slack jawed for a long time.
Like 4 or 5 scenes.
Yeah, just like he's met other celebrities before. Like I don't understand
Yeah, but
why
that was
he's
his
so,
huge crush.
Yeah.
He could make out with any celebrity, and he picked the one like that's going to be different than
are you
other
saying,
celebrities.
Are you saying Pauly Shore wasn't his huge crush?
Yeah,
Or like Sylvester Stallone?
Or
Calculon.
yeah.
I wonder
mean-
if you could probably download a Calculon robot. It would be a robot over a robot.
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
happen? Would it like?
No, it would just be a robot
It
over
Then
It
how would you know who the real?
overact.
How would you know who the real Calculon
a dramatic,
was then?
and then 3 days later,
Pause.
and then pause.
It's yeah. So I felt like it got a little weak after that.
Well,
but
I mean,
where he referred to her as perhaps the only good actress of the 21st century.
also everyone else in the Planet Express was completely disgusted by that.
Oh, robot
And then-
human love.
Yeah.
Well, it was like,
It was robosexuality.
and then they showed that movie, like Reefer Madness style.
Yeah.
Like, this is awful.
Propaganda. He hasn't seen the high school hygiene or what is it called? High school video or grade school hygiene or whatever.
It was
I think I wrote it down.
like 6th grade hygiene or something, like 5th grade
You're like,
hygiene.
why you don't date robots?
Middle school hygiene propaganda film.
Yeah. I never got the joke until this time watching it, the Marilyn Monroe bot. Like, I just thought Marilyn Monroe bot, but I never got the robot part of it.
there was this. So they went into the.
You're looking at me, Horchie, like...
There was the montage of them doing stuff, like just going on dates and whatever. And there was like Dinkin' Donuts from Mayor David Dinkins.
Yeah.
And then he's shoving the donuts down his face, and she's like, "You should write a book about how you can eat more than anything."
People need to know about can eat more. Philip J. Fry.
But the sign at the Brooklyn Aquarium.
Wait. What was Fry's explanation of that? Is why does he? What was his? He was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
He's like, yeah. Sometimes my stomach's full, and then I go to the bathroom, and then I can.
then I can eat more. The sign had Boyd's of DeWatta.
Had what?
It said Brooklyn Aquarium, and then in parentheses, Boyd's of DeWatta.
Oh, I missed that.
But then they also...
Dewada.
Then that right after that is the whole thing with Bender being Archie Bunker.
Oh yeah, for a
Yeah,
while.
noticed
Yeah,
that?
that went on for a.
Yeah, and did that come out? That was after the film, because all of a sudden everybody's
the film. Did you guess what planet that was? It was Earth.
she's in an infinite loop and he's an idiot. But this is interesting timing because just this week, and we haven't done the episode about this yet, but the live read that they did for the release of
I don't
Worlds
know
of
if it was up later, but we all watched it when it was
on.
Yeah.
So I mean,
real fans.
I'm sure there's
you know
there's
what,
probably
Emma?
clips of it on YouTube.
yeah,
or something.
I'm sure we'll try and do a recap live of it soon. But we all watched it, and that was the live read for the Worlds of Tomorrow
one. Which,
so it was
weird
Proposition
timing.
Infinity.
I thought that too. Yeah,
Because I almost thought it was the same episode when
But
I'm like,
it's-
oh, I dated a robot. But if this is a regular thing where people download their celebrities onto robots.
not after this episode. They
Well,
did.
it was apparently a regular enough thing that they had to make movies about not doing it.
Oh, you mean beforehand? Yeah.
Yeah. So why is everyone
was it
so
downloading or just dating a robot?
Yeah,
think-
that other
well, I
episode
think
is about
either-
dating robots. This one is about.
Oh, but what's
Name
the
alluded to
difference?
it.
What is the difference between dating a robot with a person you downloaded onto
That's
it
true.
or
There's
a
no
robot?
difference.
It's
No, yeah.
it's a robot
robot.
running personality software.
Because you can shut down Napster and still date a robot.
Yeah, then
But-
you can't do the celebrity thing. The
Well,
celebrity
they had
personality.
to deactivate
But
her
before then,
individually.
Ann,
it's once it's downloaded, that's like a sentient robot being
Yeah.
that's based on the personality of the head that was
She
downloaded.
still wasn't as fluent as Bender is, though. Like you
Well,
mentioned it, like insert phrase
Oh, yeah,
here.
yeah.
She still wasn't.
She was
She wa-
limited,
she
but
was,
like Roberto's a crazy robot.
She
I'm
was
just-
a,
I'm gonna stand over here.
it
and
was
practice
probably
my
that was
Yeah.
probably a model at the time. Was the Marilyn Monroe robot?
It was like buying the demo version of something.
But-
you know?
Oh, the one that came with the PlayStation
Or
one.
exactly.
buying
yeah,
a
like
washing
Crash
machine.
Bandicoot, you play the first 2 levels.
But why is everyone like why is it such a bad thing that everyone is against? And what is like is there? And I don't,
Did you see what happened to that planet
Billy?
Earth?
Yeah, it was that because people stopped. It would
This-
war or not war. It was whatever. It was crime, and then never mind.
Yeah,
Fuck,
it
somebody
all
else talk,
it all
please.
went
God damn it.
away, and then it was nothing. And then, I mean, that.
Yeah, because
that Billy
everything-
didn't even want to make out with the girl
With
that
Mavis, 'cause she was across the street.
Across the street.
And all civilization was an effort to impress the opposite sex, sometimes the same sex, such as in the case of
That was okay. That was the one I was talking about at the beginning of the show. That's the one my friend Kevin
I
laughed at
just
for like
laughed
5
at it.
minutes.
That's a good joke.
It paused on drama, and then
That was
yeah
fun.
No, that was solid. And then when she turns down Billy Everyteen, and he's like, normally
Billy
would
Everyteen.
would have. Kristen Byrne says that a lot. She says Billy Everyteen. I don't know, for like this or that or whatever. We joked about that like a couple weeks ago. Would have normally gone to his paper route to get money to take Mabel out on a date for the slim chance to perform the reproductive act. That whole video is great. I love that.
Yeah,
fucking-
brought to you by the Space Pope.
and then at the end, you get the space.
The
the
first
space
time?
Pope.
I think it might be the first time the Space
Nope.
Pope's been brought up.
No. Was it?
Are you
It
sure?
might
think
be.
so.
It might be.
No, because wasn't. I don't know. I feel like okay.
Somebody
so you
call
you're,
us and
Pete, you're like
and
totally aware
tell
of the
us.
space
Call
Pope.
in,
though.
give
Has
us
it
your
come up
opinion.
before? Or are you just aware of it from watching Futurama before we
I
started this
don't.
podcast?
I don't remember.
I think it's.
I
come up.
feel like it's a thing
I
that
think
I've
it was
been made
in
aware of.
I think it was in one of the commercials, like the Ride the Walrus. What's that product?
I only know Thompson's teeth.
Yeah,
or that or whatever. And it was like brought to you by the Space Pope.
Because
I want to.
I use that to every time somebody asks, "Is it Futurama or Futurama?" And I play that.
Mm-hmm.
Is electrogonorrhea? It's the noisy killer.
Yeah.
But why?
I wrote that.
Why? I want to know all about electrogonorrhea and how it's noisy and why.
I feel like it just electrics and burning,
And
it's
some
just
buzzing
like
sounds.
But would it be like? Would you shoot electricity out of your privates or
I think the discharge would be.
uncomfortable?
very uncomfortable and noisy.
Yeah, that I mean that part was kind of strong. Then they go to that Archie Bunker thing, And I don't understand why Bender is so worked up about it. I mean, in his previous incarnations and dalliances as a pimp, wasn't he like selling robot hookers to humans too?
I mean, I feel like
It's all about
Bender
the money.
just,
He's not making money off of this.
I think Bender just
Damn
is
after.
like not agreeing with whatever's going on. So
it's almost like they're moving away from character development
And
to
also-
serve plot points.
Or
Well,
Bender,
isn't he the
Bender
heel?
typically goes against the flow of
Yeah,
the norm.
yeah, yeah.
He's always the one to
he's a
fight back.
contrarian.
he has to disagree with what is going on.
Yeah.
Listen, you fat internet nerd. I'll tell you what I had.
I can't
problems
believe
with in this.
I'm a little surprised that Bender was an asshole in this episode too, because he's
Is it that surprising?
never been in an episode before, and he. I'm just trying to make fun of Pete.
Look, I mean, he's upset because Fry is dating a fine.
I'm also surprised that Pete is pointing out something that everybody already gets. That
Look, Bender's upset that Fry is dating a fine robot sister. I think he actually says at some point. But if she's just a blank robot template,
Yeah,
why
it's
couldn't
not
he just
really-
manufacture another copy of her? Like, it's just that, like, all of this stuff just seems kind of crammed in and contrived given the thing. Like, they could have
also,
gone in other
I'm surprised
directions.
you didn't
with
bring
this.
it up the live episode. That was just on Facebook Live
Yeah.
recently. That episode is about
Bender and
Bender
Amy.
dating Amy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
him
well, I
being, like,
I have
pro-
it in here. It's like, why is he all worked up about it? Now granted, you
I don't
got,
feel like
you
they've-
got time.
I don't think they've written that episode.
I think he
yet
missed
Yeah.
or
Fry.
anything.
He missed his best friend.
Well, although at the end of the episode, he
that too,
ends up
yeah.
dating
Is it
Lucy.
wasn't
Liu.
also that episode? That was a Comedy Central episode.
Was that when they switched over from Fox?
Yeah,
So it was after the first movie.
it was after the movies, which is interesting that they did that episode.
I thought that was after season 4.
We have to have
I
this
thought the first 4 seasons were on Fox.
right. It's after. it
Oh,
was on
you
when it
mean
was on
that? Yeah,
Comedy
that's
Central.
after. That's one of the later ones.
But they did.
Why did
that
they pick that
episode.
one?
We have to talk about that on when we do that.
yeah,
or
okay, yeah.
This
right.
episode. Okay.
The internet is about the free exchange and sale of other people's ideas. I think that's still true.
Very true.
And
very.
if we were making any money on this podcast, that would be perfectly 100% true about us. I mean, we're reinterpreting other people's intellectual property. It's like sampling. There were so many good little Zoidberg bits in this towards the end. That I mean, that kind of stuff I really enjoyed. Like where Zoidberg was like, "Someone in trouble is." Like he's just given kind of
I like
free
that
reign.
they were going off. It's like, you got Fry and Leela and Bender, and then I like that they were like, let's bring Zoidberg and just have him do some Zoidberg stuff in this episode. That's where like I feel like at this point they've established him and that they were like, oh, we can use him to just say funny shit.
All his
And
lines
then
are just like
scuttle off.
Yeah.
they just like compliment what somebody
Yeah.
else, what Elvis is going on. in
Yeah,
this
he's
episode.
just
like
he's
this
just
little-
like a comic relief,
Yeah,
which is great. The popcorn stadium where you can see movies. Like, why don't we call it a popcorn stadium? That's a great name for a movie theater. It makes it
Popcorn
sound
factory.
just a lot more exciting, doesn't
Pete,
it?
I've always thought that you're very good at noticing 2 things.
That's very generous. I usually can barely notice one. But if I do, it's something obvious. So Napster is Kidnapster.
Yeah, so they're there. We see all
Why-
the heads in jars.
Also, why did they think that it was okay to go download a celebrity into a robot?
Why
Like,
wouldn't they think?
What?
Like-
Yeah, it's 3001.
Is that-
Aren't they like more progressive than us?
Not only that, but they didn't know they were stealing their essence from.
Also,
well-
heads in
we
jars.
didn't know that when we were using Napster
When-
originally.
When they met the Lucy Liu bot, she said that her personality was derived from the movies. So like,
Well, not only that.
Oh, and
I
they
mean,
needed them in the back too, to the
They-
physical heads in the back to download from.
but they load it from.
but they didn't. But the Fry and the Planet Express crew didn't know that.
Oh,
When
yeah, they
when
didn't
they
know
first met
that.
the robot, they're like, oh, her personality comes from the movies and stuff. She said,
But
something
they,
like that or whatever.
but they
Pilot
load
all.
it from a floppy disk, so they've already downloaded the personality
yeah,
software.
that was cheap.
So they don't need the heads. They don't need.
You
to
mean
zap
when they
them
made the
pull it
ninja
down.
ones?
Well, any of them.
Erotic
Any of
Assassin?
them. Once you download it, there's a digital copy.
Oh yeah.
Of that
That
thing,
whole
so you
thing
don't need the original.
didn't track the whole.
and then they
It's
break
like-
into the back and like, oh my god, help us! They're
Yeah,
downloading,
yeah.
and like she just gets zapped because
Yeah,
she got
yeah.
downloaded again.
like that didn't make sense.
It has
She
to be a
wouldn't be
fresh copy every
experiencing
time. Yeah.
new information if she's just locked in a closet with all these other people, such as Madeleine Albright,
Unless they were taking her
Harrison Ford.
her what is the thing that everybody
Was
has except
Harrison
Fry?
Ford in there?
Harrison Ford was right next to Lucy Liu.
What's the thing that everybody has except Fry? Is it beta waves or alpha waves or what is it?
Oh, Z waves.
What if they're
was it
No, it's
taking?
the yeah.
He was beta waves, wasn't it?
No,
Delta rays, gamma rays.
edit
Is
here.
it delta waves? but maybe that's it. Maybe that's why it has to come from
I think
them.
delta
I don't know.
waves.
That sounds right. The other heads in there were Sarah Michelle Gellar, Nicole Kidman, Pamela Anderson, and George Michael. Those are the only ones I could
Sarah
see.
Michelle-
Oh,
Geller.
I would download Nicole Kidman.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Both.
Pre or post Tom Cruise?
Pre. That
you ever
was like
seen-
right before what was it, Vanilla Sky?
Have you
Or
ever,
Eyes Wide
have you ever
Shut?
seen Dead Calm?
Pick me up
Not.
before you go.
You should go watch
go
Dead.
home.
I mean, Dead.
Like, by myself.
Yeah, it's a really creepy movie. I think it might have been her first movie in America, or that was
I was about
released
to.
in
I
America. It's
saw
on a boat.
the first movie she did like in Australia was
Yeah.
some BMX movie.
No. This is like a suspense thing on a boat. It's
Really?
actually, and it's very good. It's
Dead
creepy.
Calm.
Yeah, it's probably came out early '90s.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it like
it was pre any body modifications done to Nicole Kidman. I can tell you that.
she had body modifications? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the science.
So
help.
Eyes Wide
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shut
she
is
has
not
a huge septum.
Nicole Kidman.
And she got her ears pierced.
Yeah, I loved the scene where the guy downloads Madeleine Albright, and he's like, "Are you Lucy Liu?" And she's like, "Yeah,
If you want me to be.
okay."
Because she saw the meal,
Yeah.
which is weird because the robots are eating.
Is that what happened? She saw the meal?
I that's what
Yeah,
I
and this
think.
Lucy Liu didn't drink like Bender. They run off of alcohol and produce.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
Did
I
she
like
say-
it when
did-
other people bring up obvious
Did
shit
she
that's wrong.
did she say I don't drink?
You never saw her doing it.
Oh, well, I mean,
They were always making out. There was no time to drink.
She needed to get the alcohol somehow. The fuel
was
charge
this
her fuel
22
cells.
minute episode about their week together? Did you see everything they did? Did you see Fry sleep?
I think so.
So I guess Fry didn't sleep for a week.
He may not have.
Well, he did. I can
Okay,
believe
that's
that.
what we should assume. He may not have. Good one, Pete. You won again. What? Here,
not-
did anyone bring
no.
Pete's "I won the argument" trophy by
not.
saying, "I guess not"?
Why do you?
Maybe he didn't.
Why do you think it's like a win-lose
Lucy Liu
situation?
was in Napster for 800 years, though.
That's a long
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
It's a
I
long
didn't
time.
catch that part.
Do you think it was all?
But how do we
head?
know? Did we didn't see the whole 800 years? Could you explain that one, Pete?
No, I can't
And why
explain.
did-
What's Control K?
Oh, that was it was I don't know if that was funny to anyone. He like pushed control and then he went over and pushed K.
Yeah.
Is that a computer joke?
I don't think it's a command. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh wait,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
wait, wait, wait. Is that when he made the Lucy Liu bots to kill?
Yeah.
Is it K
Oh,
for
control kill.
Probably, yeah.
But see, he didn't say he was gonna.
kill?
he
Do
just
you
said he was
picture
gonna make
people
like
listening to this, watching our brains go creak,
Erotic.
creak, creak, creak. Oh, get it, guys.
They-
You get it.
Come on,
K.
connect
K.
the dots. Connect the dots.
they set her at erotic
Because
assassin.
K's a funny sound.
Was that supposed to be based off her character in Kill Bill?
It's obviously off of
An
the
Orani
box.
Shii kind of thing?
It's her personality is based off of the
The movies.
movies, based off box office receipts.
How many receipts are there?
33,422.
It's all
No, that's what she said. Her personality was based off of box office receipts.
I understand that. So then why did they need the original head? Like it falls the fuck apart.
Because What is a copy of a copy? It's just lesser of a
Another
copy.
copy.
If it's a digital copy, it is identical to the original copy, which is the whole problem with its streaming.
Have you
services
ever
like Napster.
tried to copy a personality from a Head in a Jar? Pete, we don't know. It could have been worse. It could have been. Have you ever seen Multiplicity? Look what happens when Michael Keaton's clone clones itself.
Do you like how
it's a dumbass?
How quickly Tom just assumes I've never tried to copy the personality of a Head in a Jar.
How dare you?
Yeah, he's just like he just assumes I haven't.
he hasn't
you
been
don't
out
know
to
what
the
the fuck
garage,
I've
has
done.
he?
I assume if you don't have the original, it's gonna come out like the dumbass one in Multiplicity from the Michael Keaton film where he cloned
Yeah, I know.
himself.
Everybody knows.
That's why.
Why has the copy got to be lesser?
Because it was an analog copy.
It might be
The fucking
3D printer.
full of artifacts and degradation. That doesn't happen when you copy uncompressed digital content.
How do you-
That's
how-
one of its
okay.
strengths.
But also, then they took the Lucy Liu head, and then they created all those Lucy Liu bots.
Yeah,
Off of the backup
yeah, off
disc.
of the backup disc, which is like, okay, well then why do they need the heads?
Right. You're making my own case for me. You might as well be a
That's-
hyper
yeah, that's what we
chicken
were
lawyer,
trying to-
Tom.
But all they knew to
I
do
rest
was,
my case.
Corn.
All they needed to do was kill, and then
Corn.
also they succumbed to popcorn.
Corn.
Get some.
The 10,000 pounds of balcony grade popcorn. What I was trying to figure out when that happened was whether or not the popcorn was already popped. Like I thought it was just a big bag of cooked popcorn, and it was just
No, it was
kernels.
seed or kernels. Yeah, you could see it when it came out.
I couldn't see any. I just saw little dots.
Well,
which-
and then when it was filling up, it was just little dots.
and then they ate it and then popped it inside their magical chest cavities.
Yeah. Before that, though, the movie they were watching was, I forget what the title was, but it was like Charlie's Angels 15 or whatever. The fucking vampire mayor is one of my favorite things.
You want
from
to know
any episode.
the vampire? Look in the mirror. I can't because I'm a vampire.
The best movie ever with a vampire and
But-
an explosion.
But that but that coffin's ticking. Or what is it? It's not going to open itself or something, and blah. It's just fuck,
Then-
so good.
Then who was it that was like Wright Zoidberg and he did like the Z snap with his claws?
It was I think it was Lucy Liu and Head. He had a couple. He made a thing. He said a joke, and then did the snap, and then she made a joke and was like, Wright Zoidberg, and then he did the snap again. Did you notice? Did you see me escaping? I was all like, "Whoa."
Life was bad, but now it's good forever.
I know that is not much of a line, but I love that. I love that.
It's great.
That there was a little thing that happened, and there was just that that pointing out like a thing where a character goes, oh, we did it or whatever, but that's not, and just him spelling it out, saying it like, I don't know.
Also, when they rescue the Lucy Liu head, she falls in love with Bender.
Yeah,
She does.
So they're both dirty robosexuals.
Yeah,
So Bender's,
Again,
Bender's
yeah.
a hypocrite.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, now that lays the groundwork for Proposition Infinity whenever that
It
comes along.
certainly does.
But his quick reversal it's just like
Role reversal and justification of reversal is what he does best. It's like whatever suits him at the time being.
That's
They're
true.
very true.
Yeah, that's very true.
why Bender is great.
He's like the meme.
Oh,
that
what's
they
his
have
Bender
is
is
like
great song? Doesn't he have a
different evils on like the level. He's like
look at my head? Look at what is it? The Bender is great song. Sorry.
never mind.
Isn't it just
I'm
the
sorry.
Kit Kat song?
My
but
favorite
Bender is
my
great?
favorite song is Fry cat corn and I don't care. Lily cat corn and I don't care. Better crack corn. He's the greatest.
Take that, you
Take
stupid.
that, stupid you corn.
does he have a magnet on his head when he sings that?
Yes.
I think
yes.
so. Yeah,
that's when
yeah.
he gets hooked up to the can opener,
Okay.
Yeah, that's at the end of
and he ends
the
up on
Beck
tour with
episode.
Beck.
Yeah, that's the end. A couple episodes ago.
I don't remember.
They pull the bong out of that Volkswagen. They're like, "What's this?" He's like, "Oh, that's what we used to travel through time."
We talked about that, and then the censors got through it because in the script it said a weird bottle.
Yeah, it didn't say bong in the script.
Really?
So when the censors saw it, they were like, "Oh, yeah, weird bottle." Like, yeah. So it passed.
I was wondering why this episode was so preachy about illegal downloads. Was it just being topical, or was it like a message? Because I think at this point, your internet speed and connectivity really wouldn't have been enough to be able to share video. I mean, this stuff wasn't even out on DVD
we weren't
back
doing
then,
that
really.
yet.
Yeah, no.
I think it was more topical than preachy, if anything.
It's just
somebody to poke
jumping
at.
on that Lars Ulrich bandwagon.
I wish they would have, like, the dude running Napster should have been Lars.
Oh yeah, that would have been great.
Just
Looking like
have him peddle that stuff.
Or played by Justin Timberlake, like he did in The Social Network, right? And then it would have tied back to the
Lars
professor's.
Ulrich was played by Justin Timberlake. Like,
they
in that
go.
movie?
No, Sean Fanning
Well,
was
this was
played by
before this-
Justin Timberlake
As-
in The Social Network.
As this series goes on, and even like after it got canceled and goes on to the Comedy Central stuff, they like go after like Apple and they go after like other things. And,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, first
Like,
and foremost, they went after
What
Fox.
topical stuff,
Right.
They do their
But-
reality show thing. They do all kinds of,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
Like,
speaking
this
of
was, like,
Apple,
one of-
did you see what they downloaded the computer on in the video? It was like that old standalone Mac
Yes.
with the built-in screen, like the square boxy beige
No,
computer.
This big.
Yeah,
No, I didn't see that.
I think it was either in the hygiene film or when they originally downloaded
Oh,
Lucy
no,
Liu.
I
It was
missed
in
it.
like an old Mac. They always refer to that. Like I wonder if that was just their thing.
Probably a lot of them grew up with that.
Yeah.
You know, like the writers at that time. Or you know, at some point, you know, I had fond memories of that being a common one. Pavarotti, did we mention him?
No,
He was in this.
doing what?
He was the head in a jar.
Yeah, he was one
where?
of the
In the closet?
Napster.
No, it was later.
Was it?
Well, not. It was. It wasn't. He wasn't in the closet with the group of them. But then, at some point, Lucy Liu needed a new jar or something like that, and he was like, "Make way, Pavarotti," and like,
Tossed him out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. Okay, I didn't even see that part. All right, so again, tying the logic loops back into knots here. Bender
'Cause
was
you have to do that on this
yes,
show.
because Bender was upset with Fry for dating a Lucy Liu robot. Bender was also apparently very much against robosexuality, but once this was all resolved, why couldn't Bender have downloaded Lucy Liu's personality onto a robot and dated that robot and then have everything just be, you know,
Because he had the real Lucy Liu.
aligned? Right, but it was aligned with his own like worldview then.
all right, answer this: which one
whenever
is
he's-
Bender? Is he
whenever-
the janitor? Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, he's the one that looks like Flexo without the beard.
They deal so much with different robot stuff. Just wait, Pete.
I
can. Well, let's wait.
No, but
until
it's
you.
still
Oh,
good to
believe
ask.
me, I can be patient.
It's
I'm
still good
not-
to ask the questions. I mean, I don't want to always answer with like, "Oh, wait till this episode." I mean, but it's one of those like, "Do we tell you the episode?" Or you know,
It's
I mean-
it's just like for whatever weird inconsistencies you get from episode to episode, this one seemed like it had a very tenuous grasp from top to bottom on.
it was
actual
just for the
character
comedy.
development.
Everything that didn't make sense with the story was for the comedy. It's just like the later one when they do the robosexuality one. It's just for the story, just for the comedy.
But that made more sense in
is
this one. I
one
could
of the
see
ones
Amy
where-
being into a robot because she's into everything else.
I'll tell you what.
yeah.
When Bender became human.
Oh, I don't even want to know about that
We
one.
haven't got
We're
there yet.
close.
Yeah.
That one's coming up. I'll tell you what. I'll never forget this episode. Memory deleted.
Well, okay. Why was her erase button so obvious? Because you'd figure when Fry was like
it's
clawing
a
it out,
robot.
making out. Yeah,
Every robot has a very obvious delete button.
I don't think that's true, and it's pronounced robot.
Ribbit.
A ribbit?
Robot.
Robert.
Ribbit.
Robot.
Robert.
Robot.
Every Robert has their
I
delete
like.
button.
I like the very end with the heart around Lucy Lubot and
And then it
Bender,
goes to Fry.
and then it pans over to Fry, and he's just angry, and he doesn't even say anything, and it just.
Well, and then he says that him and Lucy are getting married. Do they get actually married? Does she ever come back on
Oh, I'm
the
sure
show?
Bender gets sick of her. Kicks
Yeah,
you to the
I would
curb.
imagine that
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
between the week between this and the
Take
next
a hike,
episode.
toots, and
And
just,
hey, now that I think about it, wasn't she on it previously? I want to say there was a situation where Lucy Liu's head was on the show, but not
I wouldn't be
necessarily
surprised.
played by Lucy
maybe
Liu.
in the background
I
of
mean,
something.
it
Cameo
might in
style.
the background.
Either like without speaking or
Yeah.
voiced by
like
Lauren Tom or
in
something.
the head museum or something.
Yeah, like any of the like head groups of heads or something, head museum or whatever that we've probably.
Oh, those darn talking heads.
Yeah, David Byrne. And,
Him and his world beat, weird dance offs, giant suits,
thank you.
fucking bullshit. That's all my notes. I mean, that's where it wrapped up. Like it all just kind of came crashing to an end.
It's a fun episode. It's not like a great episode, but it's a fun
It's a
episode.
good one. I was
Like,
looking forward to it when I knew it was coming up.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's always an episode that I look forward to
good
watching.
Fry stuff at the beginning. Good Zoidberg shit at later. You know, like
I mean, there was good moments. I think most of the time they do a lot of world building and things stay pretty consistent. And this one, they're just like, fuck it, whatever. So I don't know if it was like
yeah, it was a little
assistant
it was
writers
sloppy
day or
in
what
that area
you know?
for sure. Like all of your points about all that stuff. It's sloppy.
Eric Kaplan wrote this episode. So
I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind at that cookout next week. So, what was the lesson from this episode, Horchie?
The lesson from this episode is if you're addicted to something that stops you from living your life, you won't live your life.
Or a sex robot's just going to take over.
Take over the world?
Yeah, well, just
That's kind of what happens in that video, the propaganda film.
But to
They're
make everything nicer?
they're getting more advanced now.
I think
You mean in our times, or you mean in the?
like is this going to be true?
the
Are you-
moral,
are you gonna
moral
date a
of the
We're
story:
so close, and I can't wait. I will absolutely dive right into
sex robots are going to take over the world. We know that.
Look, what,
Westworld.
when we reach the singularity and we all become batteries for the Matrix, I mean, that's really all they need to do is just set you up with a fancy sex robot in a VR situation, and would anybody care that they're just
No.
being leached for biochemical electricity?
Nope.
Like you don't have to interact with anybody ever again. Here's somebody who accepts you and will love you.
Yeah.
No, it would just be like,
just
Put
give
me in
up on
that
life
pod
and
and
you're
hook
like,
me up.
But it's that difference of knowing, like, when
plug
it's real
me
or
into the
not.
Matrix.
What does it
know.
matter if it's real or not? As long as you think it's real.
But you know it's not.
But if you think it is, then you don't
Come on,
know.
Fry knew
Fine.
that was
You
a
don't
robot.
know, right.
A robot.
I'd be tricked into thinking it's
Yeah,
something's
if you
real.
can get tricked, then sure, trick the fuck out of me. You know, because because I'm a car. now.
listen to you inviting people to do what they do to you all the time.
Yeah, no. You know how like ignorance is bliss is not a joke. Like it's true. Like please, like every thing that I enjoy in life, the McDonald's and TV shows and whatever, absolutely. I hope that I die happy and just full of bullshit. Like great.
Hang on, I gotta
Sex
send
robots, please.
I gotta send an email real quick. Dearest Mr. Horchie,
Please send more bullshit.
I am a prince in Nigeria, and am trying to rescue my fortune from the clutches of an evil warlord.
Please
Can you send me a money order for $6,000?
Western Union
I know that's
only.
not really the prince. I know that's really Arsenio Hall. He's just the assistant prince.
He's living back in Cleveland, just really hoping to get out.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Like Bill Cosby has obviously had this horrible, horrible fall from grace because he's apparently a fucking monster. But if you
Yes.
found out that like some other celebrity of that caliber,
Michael Jackson.
Mike, okay, maybe not that big because Cosby was, he was a
powerhouse.
He was a
Sweater
powerhouse.
wearing.
Yeah, but he was
An icon.
He was an icon.
Yeah.
But somebody like Arsenio or like Steve Harvey or D.L. Hewley or whoever, and we're naming off all these African American comics. I mean,
I was
not
like,
just them. I
there's
mean,
a
it could be
trend here.
or Ray Romano or
Okay, you were thinking about Bill Cosby
or
there.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. But just like they kind of fall out of the public eye and then just run internet scams
Just
and
start
are like
scamming
super
people.
lucrative at doing it. They're just like, Oh yeah, I mean, like I made a lot of money on my sitcom and in syndication, but I've made like millions more just by fleecing stupid people on the internet. Like that would be amazing, and it has to have happened at some point. Like there's got to be someone who is just like
Just working the system. They're like, I'm done with the whole.
buying records on eBay.
Who did the Honey I Shrunk the Kids? What's
Rick
his name?
Rick Moranis?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He dropped out of the spotlight. He's just scamming people.
It's a pretty sad story. His wife died.
Don't-
so he
oh,
raised
don't-
his
I
kids.
know.
Don't
I
know.
thought
Let's
it-
pretend.
No, so
We
he
all know.
Look,
You
look,
don't
yeah,
have to
how do
bring
you
it
know what
up.
happened?
Look,
We're
his
just
wife
joking
passed
around.
away.
Yes.
didn't.
He retired from show business to raise his
I
kids.
knew
Now they're
that.
adults. He put out a couple of country albums,
Oh, did he?
And
and
then
I
now
didn't know
they're
that.
and now
Then Pete the Dragon came by, and now nannies for the kids. Well, he can play
I heard
piano
he wanted to
music.
no,
get back
and
into
now
acting.
they're doing a Mackenzie Brothers reunion.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I think it's
Yeah,
happening
it's
in
true.
Toronto in July sometime.
I mean,
they're
Patton
doing like a
Oswalt
live event
Kind of
with
happened to him too.
Yeah, oh for sure. But I mean, his like I think Rick Moranis A had more kids and B was just like, all right, I need to back off. It's
Yeah.
like Patton still writes and
Did
performs.
you just say Rick Moranis A had more kids? Meaning Rick Moranis B had less kids than Rick
Yeah,
Rick
Universe
Moranis
1,
A?
Universe 2.
Rick-
Universe
Rick-
1, Universe A.
Rick Moranis
Fighting
B had
mongooses.
had the
We're gonna
cowboy
be called the
hat.
fight. Rick Moranis fighting mongooses.
Rick Moranis A raised the kids and Rick Moranis B made the country albums.
So this episode, real quick, guys.
Yeah. What? Go ahead. What do you think?
Zoidberg's lines were my favorite part of this.
Okay.
Honestly.
Good favorite part.
I'd agree with that.
Chris,
I mean, I think
what do you
in
think of
general-
this episode?
About favorite lines?
No. Just in
Just in
general.
general,
like,
like-
out of I mean, you're a
really,
fan, so
I really like how they played on like the reefer madness with the robot
That is
sexual
the best, yes.
relationship. Like
Yeah,
that
I
was
love
just
that
like
video.
Yeah.
build it up, make it the worst thing. Like if you do this, the world's gonna end. Type thing. Like
Except
really
for the
did like it.
electrogonorrhea.
and
I'd
the
like to
noisy
see
killer.
I'd like to see the electrogonorrhea hygiene film. That would be
It's a noisy discharge.
Basically, that propaganda film was the whole Wall-E movie. You know, where everybody
just start taking care of your planet and stop shoving your face full of shitty
yeah,
food.
exactly. That's the
you
whole.
mean,
You know,
you mean America 2060?
yeah,
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're trying
Don't
to
worry.
explore space because we're just murdering everything down here.
I hope I live long enough to just sit in a pod that
With a
just
sex robot.
with a sex robot that just like with a bunch of screens.
You need to like buddy up to Elon Musk or Virgin Mobile
I actually
Galactic.
Virgin Mobile, they all look like Richard Branson.
But they all own their private island private asteroid in space.
You get everything. You just have to deal with that robot that looks like Richard Branson.
I feel like Elon Musk.
Can you shave his beard and make him wear a wig?
Yes, but it's Richard Branson.
Yeah, but you always have the stubble, so it always burns.
I feel like Elon Musk would be that rule of three thing where you know when somebody's like, oh, it
There's a
seems like
devil's
they're going to be
triangle?
awesome, where it's going to be like he'll be like, hey, do you want a flying car? Yeah, and then he's like, all right, two. Do you want to like travel to space at the blink of an eye? Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to come to my private island and hunt humans? Elon Musk, you like you're cool, and then you get creepy on the third one every time.
The
Do we have to
Simpsons-
eat them, or are we just shooting them?
The Simpsons episode, did you see that with him on there?
Maybe.
Oh, he like touches down in the Simpsons backyard in like a spaceship.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, and then he just ruins a nuclear.
Who,
Power
Elon
plant.
or Richard?
Elon.
Elon Musk. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, was Richard
Because
Branson
you got
ever
Elon
on
Spangler?
The Simpsons?
No,
But,
The
but
closest
Hank
we
Scorpio.
got-
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
No. Richard Branson was on The Simpsons.
Was he?
They
Was
did an
he?
episode with him.
Oh, I
yeah.
can imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe they did.
Oh dear.
Actually, I
Anyway.
think it was him too. I think he did the voice. Did Elon Musk
No.
do the voice for
Yes.
himself?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, Albert Brooks did Hank Scorpio.
Yeah.
You don't mind killing some people on your way out.
Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, all right. Or no, was it? No, he wanted the Dallas Cowboys. He got the Broncos, right?
Denver Broncos. Marge, you'll never understand football.
Oh boy. Well, that was an episode.
That's good.
Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
dude.
Anytime. I like
great.
this.
This
Good
is what
job.
we do.
I like
Do you
this a lot.
have any anywhere on the internet that you'd like people to find you, or anything that you'd like to point people to?
I don't know. I don't hang out on the internet too much because you can't fly through it.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's not
But-
worth it if you can't shoot lasers out of your fingers at people.
I mean, I'm on Instagram at cheapthrill666, I think.
Okay.
That sounds wholesome.
That's a good name.
Yeah, you know. My picture's Audrey Hepburn in a ball gag.
Oh dear.
Oh, yes.
A real picture?
Yeah.
Do you want to go back and revise your statements from earlier, Tom? Okay, Helen Mirren or Audrey Hepburn?
I don't know. I mean, ugh. Oh yeah. We're friends on that.
It's like, oh, yeah, we're friends.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
Audrey Hepburn.
I'm acquainted with
I don't
that
know,
profile
like,
picture.
that age though.
What,
It's hard to say.
What, like the 50s?
Like the early, like when they're that.
Dude, that's...
You know, when they're like in their,
Okay, but what if you had to portray a horribly racist Asian stereotype in order to, be their friend?
obviously Audrey Hepburn.
You're like Mr. Tommy Jojo or something.
We're talking about Breakfast at Tiffany's again.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so Cheap Thrill 666 on Instagram. If you want to look up our bearded guest Kris Kozlak, we can be found at slurmcast.com. You can email us at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. You can call us or text us. We're really excited about the pictures we've been receiving.
Yes. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Surprisingly few dick pics so far.
Just put it in your phone, and then when you're drunk, just call.
Just do it. Just
216
438.
438-1077.
Yeah.
I was gonna call right now. He's half in the bag. He's 3 sheets to the wind.
Mostly we get calls from Lewis that can't even get translated by Google Translator. The last one that came in just said meringue, and I couldn't listen to it because it wouldn't be as good as what the translation was. It would be like a French guy going, meringue. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter at SlurmcastPod. We're on Instagram at SlurmcastPod.
Mm-hmm.
We have a t-shirt shop at TeePublic. The link is in our show notes and on slurmcast.com. There's a bunch of really cool and fun Futurama
People
and
like
other
t-shirts, right?
geek-related
The kids, they like the
things.
t-shirts,
I love
right?
t-shirts.
I like getting the percentage off the t-shirts when people buy them using our affiliate link. That's what helps sustain us. Rate and
Put a
review us in
t-shirt
iTunes.
Put a t-shirt on.
Take
That's
a
my slogan.
Put a t-shirt
Put
on.
a t-shirt on.
Take a
Dude,
t-shirt off.
just put a
and then
t-shirt
send
on.
us a picture. Thanks, everybody.
Like a otter.
Chris, thank you very much
Yeah.
for being on
Great
here.
being here.
Have a good week, folks.
Today's episode of the Slurmcast was brought to you by the Slurmcast, the episode, the podcast that sucks its own dick.
God, like that otter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh no.